Hey guys, David here, Central Cal Piper. Sorry if you hear noises, I'm getting text messages from family. I just wanted to come out here for a few minutes. It is almost 6 p.m. on Friday evening. Had a nice day today. Went to work. Got finished by noon. Decided to use some vacation time to come home. So came home. Went out in the back patio, smoked my pipe for a few minutes. Well, for probably 45 minutes actually. While my wife was recuperating from dealing with first graders for half a day, but still, 25 little first graders with varying needs and issues. Kind of wears her out at age 56. She's ready to retire, but I told her she can't retire because I'm retiring, and we both can't be retired right now. So, that goes really well. That's the truth. She makes more money than I do, and she's not as old. So she's got to wait until, well, actually, she can't get her Social Security because she's a few credits short of getting her Social Security or qualifying, which I need to figure out what to do about that because she does get a retirement from teaching, but it would be really nice if she could get that Social Security. She's only a few credits short, so we need to find out. Plus, she's legally blind, so I don't know if there would be some allowance for that, but we've talked about her finding like a job in the summertime, but the problem is with her vision, she can't do a lot. She can't do any retail stuff. She can't see buttons. So anyway, it's difficult. I don't know what to do. I really would like for her to get her credits, though, because she worked a lot of jobs. She did home daycare primarily for about, 14 years, I think it was. While we were first married and we had little kids, she wanted to stay home, so she did that. So, but I guess, I don't know, I guess she didn't pay Social Security because it was self-employment. I'm not sure. Anyway, enough of all that. I'm smoking this basket pipe, which was the second pipe that my son Spencer gave me when I first started smoking pipes. There was some marking on it, but I don't remember. I think it said made in France someplace. But other than that, I don't know. But it's a really nice little pipe. One of my favorites, of course, because Spencer gave it to me. Smoking tonight some Royal Yacht. Got a couple tins of Royal Yacht from Cigar Bids. It's been a while back, and if I'm not mistaken, I think someone said that was one of Stalin's favorite smokes. Maybe I'm wrong here. I'm not sure. I don't have anything to back that up. It just seems like I read that at some point on the internet. Good stuff. Sorry about that. I was looking at Jemmings review because I don't do reviews really. To me, I like it. I can tell it's Virginia's. Kind of a strong smoke. Jemmings says the topping is a little citrusy with a few raisins, fig, and very obvious plum notes, which leads me to suspect that the manufacturer wanted a mildly sweet Perique taste without spending the money to actually use it in this blend. Ooh. The mildly floral Virginias offer some tart citrus and grass, fairly tangy dark fruit, earth and wood, and though they are sublimated by the toppings, they have their say. I should have turned these darn texts off. I don't know. Sorry. I'll turn my volume down. How's that? All right. Hopefully you can still hear me, but you can't hear the texts. Anyway, he goes on to say, I suspect a pinch or two of dark fired is present due to the light smoke and wood generally associated with that process, but I only get a hint of spice. The strength and nick hit are a couple of steps past the medium mark. The taste is a hair more potent. Won't bite, but has a few minor rough edges. The very consistent flavor never weakens and has no dull or harsh spots as it burns cool and clean at a moderate pace. Leaves very little moisture in the bowl. The aftertaste and room notes linger a little. Requires an average number of relights, not an all-day smoke, but it can be repeatable for a veteran piper. 101 people thought that was very helpful. I thought it was helpful. So he says the strength, medium to strong, flavoring, medium, taste, medium to full, room note, pleasant to tolerable. Well, I guess that depends on the person smelling, right? Anyway, I'm enjoying it. Funny, today I told you that I took a vacation day off. Tomorrow evening, my son Christian and his wife are hosting a Halloween party for the family and a few friends. I don't know how many people will be there. But anyway, I was instructed or asked to make chili beans and popcorn balls. When I was a kid, my grandma made popcorn balls and gave them out to trick-or-treaters who would throw them away, which is really sad because, she was from the era, well, she was born in 1917, so in the 60s and 70s she was giving these out, and they used to be appreciated, I think, but as time went on, kids got scared of homemade goodies, so she'd find them in her bushes in front of her house the next day. That was kind of sad, but anyway, so she always made those, and I always loved them, and we made some a couple years ago, so my son Christian asked me to make some more, so they wanted the caramel popcorn balls. So caramel corn is one of the things I make in the fall. I've made it for probably the last 15 years because the kids used to really enjoy it. Amy really enjoys it, and I like them too. So I made 4 batches of caramel corn all at the same time. Used a turkey roaster pan to put all the popped corn in, and then you have to cook up the caramel topping, the caramel part, and put that in there and stir it. So it was kind of a big process, and then we decided to do popcorn, popcorn balls out of caramel corn. So first you slather your hands in margarine, and you try to form these popcorn balls. And one thing I didn't realize is when I make caramel corn, it's the soft ball stage when you cook it on a confectioner thermometer, and you really need something to be a little hotter, maybe the hard ball stage, in order to stay together. So we had several popcorn balls. Even though you try to compress them as hard as you can, they start falling apart. My wife made some smaller ones. She said, let's make small ones because they won't get wasted. Well, her idea of small and my idea of small are different. It's like a baseball and a softball. So mine aren't that big, but they're much bigger than hers. So anyway, but the problem is, when people get those things, they're going to be so compacted because I squeeze the ever-living heck out of every one of those popcorn balls, so, just to keep them together. So they probably weigh about a half a pound each. So we'll see how it goes over. They should last a long time. They may have to be soaked in something to make them edible, but we'll see. Anyway, so I did that, and then I cooked 4 cups of pinot beans and did all the rest of it, and made a big old cauldron of chili beans. I'll put some pictures on here. I took some pictures to send to my son, so I'll put some pictures. But anyway, once again, you stay home from work for vacation and you work much harder than you would at work. I could have just been chilling in my cubicle all afternoon watching you guys on YouTube videos, but nope. I was out there frying a hamburger, cooking beans, popping popcorn. Wow. But it was fun. I get to be with my wife, so that was nice. She got to go home early today because of her conferences last night, so it was fun. Glad I'm all done though, so I can smoke my nice pipe with some Royal Yacht in it and talk to you guys. Well, this video is almost 9 minutes long now. I don't know what the upper limit is of these as far as keeping people's attention. Anyway, whatever. I'll just keep talking until I ran out of things to talk about, I guess. I got some coffee beans mailed out today. The first couple batches of coffee beans I made a few months ago, I had several guys that asked for samples, so I sent some samples out. But there were 2 gentlemen that asked for samples. One is Mark, the Welch Piper, and also Brian Quilty. Well, Mark lives in Great Britain, and Brian lives in Canada. So before, when I was sending out samples, I only had I had very small amounts. I had like a couple of 4-ounce bags, or maybe a couple of 8-ounce, probably a couple of 4-ounce bags, maybe 3 or 4. Anyway, it wasn't worth the cost because the coffee beans were really cheap, but the postage was ridiculous. So at that point, I didn't mail Mark or Brian any. I explained to them that it just wasn't worth it. The coffee they were getting was nothing compared to the costs. So anyway, I decided to bite the bullet. So I sent Mark. He requested some regular blend coffee. So I sent Mark 2 pounds of Colombian fresh roasted beans. And I sent Brian Quilty 2 pounds of the dark roast beans. He requested dark roast. So anyway, and I kept, it's weird. When you buy the coffee beans, of course, when they're green, they're heavier. So you get 5 pounds of green coffee beans, but after you roast them, each pound loses about 4 ounces. So you don't, I didn't actually have 5 pounds of coffee beans roasted, so it was like 4.5. So anyway, I kept the extra 8 ounces. So anyway, if you're interested in some samples, I'll be glad to send them. It's ridiculous, though, how much it costs to send things to Great Britain. For 2 pounds of coffee beans, it's like $42 to send 2 pounds of coffee beans. But I wanted to do that because I know Mark really wanted to try them. And, I felt bad. He offered to pay for them, but anyway, I just wanted to send them. So I did that. And then Brian, his was only like $23 to send him to Canada, so that wasn't as bad. But the problem is, though, now Mark should get his within, I think, 5 or 6 days. But Brian, on his, they said they would take 1 to 4 weeks. Now, I don't know how that works, but both are going by United States Postal System. Actually, no. Mark's beans are going by UPS International. Brian's, though, are by U.S. Postal Service because UPS is not available in that area of Canada. So we'll see. But hopefully they'll make them. And I enjoy sending out coffee beans. I don't know. It's fun to do them, and if I think someone really enjoys them, then I enjoy sending them. So, and the coffee beans themselves are not expensive, really. I think the beans themselves are maybe $5 or $6 a pound. So, let's see, maybe $8 a pound now. I think I paid $40 for a 5-pound bag of the Colombian Excelsior coffee beans, which is the ones I sent. But in the scheme of things, it's not bad. Think about tobacco and what that costs. It's a lot more expensive. Plus, if I were to send tobacco overseas, I know they get to pay a really ridiculous tax on this stuff. So coffee beans are much easier. Anyway, thought about before turning that into a little business, but I'd have to roast an awful lot of coffee beans to make any money off of it. It is right as it is right now. I can do about a pound at a time. It takes about a half an hour for a pound of regular roast, or medium roast, basically, and about 40 minutes for the dark roast. So you can imagine how long it would take to do a large amount of coffee beans. And I'm not going to ever upscale. I mean, they've got nice coffee roasters for like $3,000, but I would never do that because I don't think there are so many coffee roasters out there and coffee suppliers. I'm just another guy who does it for a hobby. I don't have any expertise. It's all done by sight, and what kind of amounts to an old-fashioned popcorn stirring mechanism that stirs coffee beans instead. But it's fun, so I enjoy it. I was thinking I probably should have mentioned those dollar amounts. It kind of sounded I don't know, weird to do that. I was just explaining the disparity in costs between Great Britain and Canada. Of course, it's overseas. Canada is just up the road a bit, but still, no ocean in between us. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the coffee beans. If anyone else would like some coffee beans, let me know. Glad to send samples at least, and then if I procrastinate and don't do it for a long time, I'll probably send you more because I feel guilty. So anyway, that's just the way it goes. I have an alarm going off at 6:10 p.m. I have no idea why. I suppose I should turn it off. I like this full sail Royal Yacht. Hopefully the caffeine. Hopefully the nicotine's not going to kick in because I don't do well with a lot of nicotine. But I'm kind of in a risky mood tonight. So we'll see. Well, guys, I don't know what else to talk about, so I will let you go. Hope you all have a nice evening and a wonderful weekend. God bless y'all.